Hello and welcome to the Omniverse Comics Guide. My name is Raph. You may have heard me before on the new Manga Spotlight episodes. But today, we're here with you for a new concept, the Manga Book Club. But rest assured, I'm not alone to do that. I have with me your favorite host, one of the founders of the Omniverse Comics Guides, Dave Molyneux. Dave has the advantage of being from the UK and being a native speaker of English, which means that he can read any manga as soon as they've been translated for the English market. So you don't have to worry. Whatever manga he's telling you he's reading at the moment, it's also available for you. Hello, Dave. How's it going on this side of the planet?
Oh man, this is some role reversal stuff going on here.
Yeah, how does it feel?
Feels good. I like
Feels
switching.
good.
Makes me feel like I'm special.
You are.
That's what Mummy says. How about you, dude? You good?
I'm great.
Beautiful intro.
Always happy, always happy
Always,
to
yeah.
be
No,
back with you.
that's why
To
it's always
talk
a
manga.
pleasure to have you on. Anyway,
Thank you very much.
so like you were saying, we've got our very first Manga Book Club episode.
Yeah, I said new concept, but let's be honest. We've copied Eric and his
Yeah,
monthly comic book club, right?
yeah, pretty much. But hey, if it's a good idea, it's worth stealing.
Hey, he's bad. He should have been reading manga.
Yeah, that's true. Maybe we'll do that at one point as well.
Oh, that would be awesome.
Yeah. So what are we talking about today?
So about a manga we've both read,
Yes.
which is usually not the case, right?
Yes, on regular episodes. So Raph normally introduces the new Manga Spotlight episodes, and they are all about new manga coming out. And more often than not, I haven't read it because I am a manga noob. I've read the odd bit here and there, but nowhere near what you've read. Plus, you have, I mean, look behind you. You've got access to a fair bit where you are. So I take Raph as the steer for this stuff, to point us in the right direction, to find some good stories. Although on this occasion, I did think we'd start with one that you'd mentioned, so as a kind of follow-on. But instead,
Yes,
we've gone with one that I found.
you did actually, and you're the one who came up to me and said, "Hey, how about this manga? Would you like to talk about it?" And that was a great idea. That was one title that actually I considered for an episode at some point, but
Ah,
that we didn't use. So I thought it was a great opportunity
well,
and
why
to
not?
compare notes and see what we've thought of it.
Yeah. So in this case, but we're coming at it not knowing what the other person actually thinks because I've not had your spin yet. This is the book in question. It's Mujina of the Deep. I always say of the deep. It's Mujina into the deep.
Into the Deep. And actually, the title's the same in Japan. It's an English title, Mujina Into the Deep. That's what it's called
Do you know
here
why
too.
that is?
No,
Oh,
I have no idea.
because that's
Uh,
not the standard, is it?
I mean, it depends. Um, a lot of mangas here have an English title, sometimes even like written in alphabet
Right.
with Roman characters. So it's not that unusual.
Oh, I thought maybe it was lesser. I mean, the I must admit the appeal to me of this one as well was immediately just the cover, like from
The
an art
covers,
perspective, design perspective.
it's beautiful.
It
It's
really is.
beautiful. One interesting thing is that in Japan, it's actually about the same size as the English version.
Oh,
Usually mangas are smaller in Japan, like
yeah,
it's like a pocket book, but this one is like a larger format,
yeah, a
more
little bit bigger.
expensive. Yeah,
Uh-huh. And
but
is it from
it
Viz?
looks
I'm
so
assuming
good.
it's from Viz in Japan.
No, because this is
Oh,
a
it doesn't
Japanese,
have it.
sorry, an
It's
American,
an
sorry, an
American thing,
American
isn't it?
publisher, but it's from Shogakukan in Japan, which is
Okay,
one of the three big, not even manga publisher, one of the three big books publisher.
of course, of course. Well, dude, we were saying when we were talking about introducing the book itself,
Yeah,
and explaining what it's about, that perhaps we'd look at the blurbs. And of course, your blurb isn't necessarily the same as my blurb because yours is
no,
in
mine
Japanese.
mine is based on the Japanese website, the official homepage.
Yeah. So why
So
don't you do you want to take us in with your
okay,
version of it,
here's
and we'll
a
see how
rough
it compares.
translation of it. Yeah.
Okay.
Amidst the mundane everyday, what is the true nature of the Mujina? Those who soar through the skies with blades at their backs, taking human lives. What is humanity? What is society? What are human rights? And what is happiness? Before you know it, you'll find yourself confronting this question in this utterly shocking new work.
It's
And
completely
that's it.
different.
Yeah, I guess so.
Wow. I was expecting it to be kind of similar, but no. Do you want me to read this version?
Oh, yes, please.
Big letters at the top. No life but the one you make, no rights but the ones you take. In the near future, human rights aren't guaranteed, but they are for sale. Without your rights, you're just a Mujina, with no place to call your own and no laws to protect you. But if the laws don't apply to you, you can do anything you want. You just need the skills to back it up. And if you're really good, you can really make a killing. Terumi Morgan bitterly accepts that he shouldn't expect a lot from life. He just wants to meet his deadline at work and watch his porn in peace. But then, an unexpected sick day sends him on a collision course with two people who will change his world forever. A runaway kid and a 30-something Mujina assassin. Suddenly, life is expecting a lot from him. Vastly different.
It's completely different, but that's funny. I think it's really like representative of the different approach from like the Western world and Japan.
Yeah, very much
Like
so.
your introduction is really like based on facts and characters and what's
Yeah,
happening in the book, while the Japanese one is more about like what the characters or even the reader would be feeling.
yes. That's so bizarre, isn't it? It's quite a
It's
fascinating little
interesting.
insight. I'm glad we did that.
That was a good idea.
Well, I think it was yours. So, in terms of how you felt
Yeah.
about the book, do you want to start us
Um,
off? Like, because it's an interesting story, isn't it? I mean,
it's interesting.
yeah, it kind of
Could I
feels
could I
familiar at
could I
first.
ask you first, like
Yeah,
if you liked it?
I was very uncertain when I
Okay.
finished the book about whether I liked it or not. And I think a part of the reason for that was because some of the themes are quite stark and quite
Yeah.
heavy, dark, twisted. It's a seedy underbelly stuff. Like
Hmm.
if you're seeing what's in the news at the moment with a certain batch of files, it veers into that kind of territory a bit.
It
And I
does. It
wasn't
does.
sure how like I mean it's very obviously against it, but I think there was a part of me that's like
Hmm.
it feels maybe a little does it feel exploitative? I think I was trying to assess if I felt it was exploitative or not. But ultimately, don't know, it feels like the people on the side of killing seem to be the right
Uh-huh.
people. They
But
seem
so
to be the ones to support
but so you felt uncertain after reading it.
after reading it, yeah. I was
For
weighing
me,
it up,
it was the opposite.
really.
I wasn't sure at first.
Uh-huh.
Like the first chapter, I mean, I think it's called a prologue in the book. The first
Yes.
prologue, I didn't like it, and I think that's why when I consider it for an episode, I ended up not putting it in because if I'm remembering correctly, I read that first prologue and I said no, that's not for me, and I gave up on it
Mm.
because it looks wonderful. It's really beautiful. I love the
Yeah.
art style, the design, the point of views, the angles that are used. That's
Yes.
fantastic. But I was like, oh, it's another manga with a cute schoolgirl that like swinging her sword around and killing people and like we've seen that so many times.
Yeah.
And so I wasn't really sold. And then you get to the second prologue,
Hmm.
which is completely different.
Yeah. Yeah. It throws you for
And
a loop.
yeah, and my opinion about it completely changed from that. And then I was hooked. I wanted to know more and to discover the story and the characters.
Well, that's just it, 'cause it seems it's less about the Mujina herself or the main Mujina herself, and more about
Yeah.
this kind of well, not downtrodden. He's not the happiest of guys, is he? He's a games producer or
Yeah,
games designer.
yeah, but he's kind of a like a failure, sort of, right?
It's not going the best possible way. I think at
No,
one
I
point
mean,
he what
we
it
have
was, but
hints that he might have had some success when he was younger,
yes,
but then he wasn't able to maybe get along with the trends or with what's going on in society. Maybe a bit too much of a free spirit, if we could say,
yeah,
and he got left over, sort of.
yeah, and that's because even his personal life is kind of taken some pretty downturns as well. So
Yeah.
he's not in a happy place. And then he stumbles across all this activity. And actually, what we thought about the Mujina being in question, the main one being a schoolgirl with a sword, is actually not the
She's
case.
not. I think she's 30 years old.
Yeah,
That was a surprise, because yeah, she looks younger.
yeah, but it looks like then she's sort of playing into the tropes as much as the story is playing into the tropes and then subverting them. So
Yeah,
that was a nice turn. And I mean, like you say as well, I've got to go back to what you were saying about basically the camera angles. It's incredible, like the way the camera moves around, and it feels like it zooms into the right place at the right
oh
time
yeah.
to really hit you with the shock moments. It's
It's
so good.
it's really a great use of the comic book medium.
Yeah,
Like,
completely.
you couldn't reproduce it in a movie or even in an anime. It would feel totally different.
Yeah.
But here it's near perfection, and it's really sucking you in.
And who doesn't like that?
And that's why we like the book. Sorry.
It is. There is a bit of that in here as well. So yeah, this isn't a kid-friendly manga, is it? This is
Definitely not.
very adult.
One you can't read on the train or any sort of public transportation.
I do like the way you use that as the example. I think was that harking back to what I said to you about reading
I
Gantz
think
on
it's
the
it's
train
one
and
of the
going,
of the very first conversation we had, you and
yeah,
me, and you told me that you were reading Gantz.
yes,
I think on the train and sitting next to an old lady.
yeah. She moved. Uh, yeah,
To another
I'm
country.
not a bad, yeah, probably. A person. Not really.
Could you explain sort of what are the Mujinas?
Well, and it seems that people who they can give up their rights, but it means then they don't have access to standard medical care and stuff, but they can pretty much do whatever they want.
They
So
give they give up
they
their
live
human
outside the
rights,
law, but yeah, they give up their human rights.
so they're not human anymore. I mean,
Yeah,
legally speaking.
legally speaking. So, with that, they lose certain things where I guess they gain this insane amount of freedom. One of
Yeah.
whom is a social media star.
Yep.
She's living this complete rock and roll lifestyle where she can do whatever she
Oh yeah.
wants. And she ends up being a bit of a protagonist for the main region. I don't recall the names off the top of my head now. I should have written them down.
I think she's called Tenko.
That sounds
So the
that sounds
the, the
right.
girl, the girl, the girl, the woman, because she's 30 years old. We see in the first chapter, I think she's called Ubume,
Yeah.
and she's basically a good Mujina, if we can say so. She's still a killer, and we don't know much about her past, so
Nope.
she doesn't seem to be all that clean. But then yeah, you have that social media star, idol,
Yes.
whatever you want to call her, that is Tenko, and basically she's doing whatever she wants, and she's putting it on the socials, and she's gaining a lot of popularity
It's an
with everyone.
interesting spin, that, right? Because I mean, even though she's essentially just a really horrendous person, she's
Yeah,
incredibly popular.
because people like her for that, I think,
Yeah, they
because she's
do.
horrendous, because she has
It makes
no
great viewing.
limits. Yeah.
It's fascinating when things like this happen. Even in real life, that's why people become. That's probably why people watch the Kardashians. Imagine the Kardashians, but with swords.
That's a really good, yeah, example. But
Like,
I think like she was probably my favorite character. I don't know, the old guy, I forgot his name. Terumi, I think Terumi Gordon.
yes, Terumi, yeah. Or you're pronouncing
Yeah,
it better than me. Sorry. Or more, Terumi Morgan.
he's really relatable, because he's a middle-aged man, and he's kind of the normal one in that cast of like spectacular characters.
Yeah,
But Tenko on the socials, she's, I don't know. Yeah, she has some kind of charisma that you
yeah.
can feel even through the pages.
There's a kind of nasty charm.
I think my favorite scene of the first volume was with her when she's having sex on a rooftop, and at the same time she's discussing like her plans and what she plans to do next with her friends that are around
Yes.
her, and that felt so odd. Like, I don't know. It was something that you can only see, I think, in a manga or in Japanese movies, and
Yeah, well, it's the kind of thing I think like you can't get necessarily get away with in live action quite so well. because it brings it to a different level. But yeah, it's all very shock factor, isn't it? But
It's
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 playing
shocking.
into the shock
Yeah.
factor. It's not trying to be shocking. It's showing that she's trying to be shocking, and
That's
she's
the thing.
also
It's making
horrible.
you it's making you feel uneasy, and at the same time you want to know, you want to watch. Also,
Yeah.
like when you were a kid and you're watching a horror movie and
Yes.
you're too scared to watch it, but like you're using your hands to
Yeah.
sort of
Peer through. It's an interesting way to play things because it is playing on those things, as we were saying earlier. It plays on the tropes, but subverts a lot of them, and it's these overlapping things. And while you're kind of, I mean, to a degree, finding it a little tricky to discern who you're rooting for, at least at
yeah,
first, I think it highlights like where your own morality lies by the time you get to the end of it. You asked if I liked it. Now, I did put
yes,
it in my top 10 books of the year for our top 20 books of 2025 episode.
you did.
So I liked it enough to drop it in there. So it has resonated with me. I have picked up volume 2 and I started reading initially, though it
Yeah.
felt a bit more like what I expected manga to be before I
Okay.
started reading manga. It's like, oh, this feels like it's sort of a lot of fighting and it's not got the sharpness of the first volume. But I'm only part way through, and I'm wondering after, especially after your overview of how you felt reading through and going, no, I don't
Yeah.
think this is for me. Maybe it's going to do the same again, and it's going to subvert that. So I'm hopeful that this is one that we can stick with.
I hope so.
Because how many volumes are we up to in Japan?
Five in Japan, and I think volume five came out last October or November.
Right.
From what I've seen, there's like maybe two volumes a year, so you can hope for maybe six and seven in 2026. So I think you might catch up with the Japanese volumes pretty quickly.
It looks like they are coming out fairly quickly. In the West, Volume 5 is out in December this year. So 4 is out in May and 1 to 3 are already out. So I mean there's a fair chunk to pick up if you do want to give it a try and you're going, well, I kind of want to stick with it for a bit. So you've got something to feed your curiosity.
You're saying that volume two was a bit different,
At the beginning at least, yeah.
the
I haven't
beginning
I
at
haven't
least.
finished. I haven't finished
Okay.
yet. I just was interrupted, so
Because
I didn't want to be.
what I like the most about the volume one is that it makes you feel, it makes you think, it
Yeah.
makes you evaluate your moral standard.
Yeah. It'll get a
And
reaction out of you. I think that's kind
for
of what
sure.
storytelling should do.
Is there a scene in particular or something or a dialogue that's like you liked or that you remember?
In volume 1,
Yeah.
I think weirdly, of the stuff that really stuck with me and the stuff that really pulled me in, because like I've got an artistic background, I
Hmm.
liked but I don't normally do fight scenes. So we do the top 10 fight scenes episodes on the
Yeah.
regular Omniverse. I find that a real struggle because I don't care about the fight scenes. It has to be something really special. And I actually quite liked the fight scenes in this, and that is largely because of the way they use the camera angles. The way that it
Okay.
moves underneath and goes above and then it zooms in
Yes.
for a kill and all that. I really liked that.
It's
And
so
that was
dynamic.
it's really dynamic and incredibly detailed. Like the art style
Yes.
is so good. Like there's some amazing work going on here. And I think that was a surprise for me.
There is this weird mix of like sort of cartoonish looking characters
Yeah.
and situation in a very real background and a very real situations.
Yeah, it's
And
very
that's
real
another
and
thing that
gritty.
makes you feel a bit uneasy.
Mm.
Yeah,
It's
she looks like a cute girl. She looks so innocent, and at the same time, she's cutting people in half.
yeah, but that's just it. It's a great mix of that real life grit because it does feel like they've taken the cityscapes and they've actually,
Yes.
it's happening. And then there's that unreality of almost cartoonish violence, but it's
Yeah,
incredibly violent and aggressive. So it's really weird little juxtaposition that I think works in this story. I think that's kind of the
for
point.
sure. Yeah. There is another thing I think that might be interesting to know for people who are curious about Japan
Mm.
is that I think it was touching on a lot of actual social issues that there are in Japan. The social media was one, obviously, with the,
Yeah,
the addiction that young people or or even people that are not that young anymore can have to social media. There's a lot about harassment, about the musical industry, the Japanese musical industry that has been plagued now for decades with a lot of sexual harassment and scandals and everything.
Right.
And they're touching on that as well as. Have you heard of the Tokyo Kids
Well,
before?
no, that was the first I'd heard of them, and I wasn't sure if that was like a predictive thing of how things might go.
Now,
But
yeah, so it's a real thing happening in Japan. It's been a few years now of those teenagers, usually girls, not only, but most of the time they are young girls that are leaving their home. They are leaving the countryside. They're running away from home, and they're going to Tokyo in hopes, or I don't know, of whatever, living the dream. But they're 15, 16, sometimes younger. They get in that big city with no money, no friends, nothing. So they usually end up doing drugs, hanging out with people that they shouldn't be close to.
I mean, is that inspired by stuff they're seeing on social media in terms of the aspirational
S-
thing that doesn't
It's
end up
it's a
coming true?
vicious circle because everyone, even if you don't have money nowadays, you have a smartphone, you have access
Mm,
to internet, to everything. So those Tokyo kids, they always post themselves on the socials.
right.
So they're showcasing themselves dancing in the streets of Tokyo, or having fun with their friends, or hanging out at midnight in some like shady areas of the city, and that attracts other young people
That's
who are feeling kind of like the Mujinas actually. They're
well,
looking at that and thinking, "Oh, that's freedom. That's what I want to
yeah.
do."
This
But
seems like an analogy for
once
that
the
very
camera's
thing.
off, those kids, they are doing cheap drugs. They're selling themselves to people to make a, not even to make a living, to be able to eat,
Just to survive.
to maybe sometimes have a chance to spend the night inside instead of outside on the street. So
Yeah.
that's a really big problem.
That's a core part of the story in this, isn't it? It's a big
Yeah,
part of this of Mujina. So it's interesting that they've picked up on that and are using that as the basis for getting this message across, really.
I think it's great that they address that issue,
Yeah.
through fiction. I think that's also one of the role of fiction, and that's something
Yeah.
that manga and anime and cinema too in Japan have always been known for. I think a lot of manga writers are people that don't really fit in the standards of the Japanese society. They need mangas to express themselves, to express what they are feeling, and Mujina is a perfect example of that.
Wow.
Have we mentioned the author?
No. Oh God, that's a really good point. Shall I let you do that though, because you pronounce it better?
I don't know. I know you love pronouncing Japanese names.
I was gonna go with Inio Asano.
Yeah, that's perfect.
Is that all right?
Inio Asano, yes.
Okay.
That's the author. Apparently, he's known for writing mangas that like are yeah have a lot of shock value, are
Right.
addressing social issues, and especially the problems with the youngs.
Well, that's very much what's happening here, isn't it? And so definitely take that parental advisory explicit content label on the cover seriously.
It's definitely not safe for work.
No. No. So out of 5 stars, dude, what do you want to give it?
Out of five, volume one. We're only talking about volume
Are you
one,
talking about
right?
volume one? Yeah.
For me, it's a solid four.
Okay, fair. Yeah, I was going to go 4.
Yeah,
Yeah. For it to get into my top 10, it has to be a 4 minimum. So
it's a four for whatever it made me feel.
yeah, that's
As
what's
you
good.
said,
That's the best
you
part.
get a reaction out of it.
Yeah, and it's having it make you feel a certain way, having it make you run certain things through your head, and also make you want to pick up volume 2.
It does. It does.
It does. Yeah,
The only
definitely
thing
so.
that has stopped me is the price in Japan because it's almost like three times the price of
Really?
some other mangas. Yes, it's very expensive for a manga in Japan,
God. Well, that's the thing.
which is
Yeah,
why I have a lot
that's why you have
behind
that
me.
wall behind you.
Yes, it's not because I have a lot of money. It's because they're so cheap.
Wow. I don't envy you at all, dude. Honest. Okay. Well, that was our first manga book club. Raph, how was it for you?
Dave, I mean, it felt great.
Good.
No pain. Yes, I felt good about it. I'm
Great.
willing. I'm willing to try
You
again.
want to try it again? Good.
Oh
Hey.
yeah.
All right, we'll make it a little bit different next time. Just keep it interesting.
Ooh.
Okay. Well, thank you for listening, Strike Watching, and I hope you found this fun episode to listen to. And if you do pick up a copy of Mujina Into the Deep, let us know what you think. We're interested to know how other people feel about what they're reading. That's the whole point of a book club. So, yeah, drop a comment, give us a shout, follow us on Instagram. You've got Omniverse Comics Guide on Instagram, and you have Raph_reads
Raph_reads.
on Instagram as well. You can also hop on the Omniverse Discord where there is a manga section, and there's probably loads of other places, but I could be sat here listing things like a cheap
Forever.
chart forever. Raph,
Dave.
sayonara, Raph-san.
Sayonara, Dave-san.